Hey, Goon here again. I found an enjoyable visual novel that mixes demons, an excellent story, and some fun fight scenes all in one. Stick around while I talk about Companions of Darkness. Please subscribe, hit the bell, and let's do this. The story starts off after getting out of prison. You stumble on a fight between two demons. In the midst of that fighting, you get possessed, and now you are thrust into the world of the supernatural. Essentially, just think along the lines of Chainsaw Man, and you'll get the gist of it. You get possessed by a demon or a dark one in universe, and you get powers from it. The author does some welcome world building with different factions that you can interact with, as well as powerful dark ones with their own ambitions. You interact with a whole host of different characters that you'll grow to enjoy. My favorite character is Neil, practically the god of the dark ones. You always see an interesting scene in her presence, with her all-powerful nature mixed in with her relationship with Rule B, and an interesting personality on top of it. It creates a great character. Although you'll probably never get to see any spicy scenes with her, because let's just say she's taken. You also have Arceal. You can describe her as a playful, chaotic person who does whatever she wants at any given time, and the few times when she's serious, she delivers some very memorable moments in the story. She also eventually comes with a great goth girl companion, which just adds extra points. Noelle, your dark one and main heroine, is also great, especially for vanilla lovers. I like her, but not as much as the other two. She's supportive and normal, especially compared with the other two personalities, but for me, she's not as fun. So she's good, not uninteresting, but maybe not as interesting as the other two. I'll never get into too much detail to avoid spoilers in my review. However, there's some plot holes near the beginning, as some characters don't act in a way that's consistent with how you get to know them, and it becomes obvious on the second playthrough. So there is some flaws here and there in the story and some world building aspects as well, but it is still a very nice story, some great characters, and solid world building that's a notch above most Arrow games. It's a visual novel, so selecting choices is the extent of the gameplay. The choices give you points with characters or adds a particular attribute like power, and may result in an extra scene here and there or starting a type of relationship with characters. There's some dead ends here and there to keep you on your toes. However, there is no real branching paths, and really it's just selecting the content you want to see or not. It's mostly solid. You have good background music that keeps you in the game, or just music that enhances what's going on. You also get sound effects for footsteps, doors opening and closing. You might think there's no need to mention, but some games unfortunately don't do this, so I have to give props where it's due. There can't be times where there's a mismatch between what's going on screen and the type of music playing. For example, the author decided to use a Devil May Cry Baby track for that scene, if you know it, but in-game, that scene in question wasn't nearly as sad to justify that track, and it felt overly dramatic, and it pulled me out of the experience. However, on the whole, besides some small mismatches for a couple scenes, the sound aspect of the game is still solid and mostly just adds to the experience. This is the weakest part of the game. This game was made using Honey Select and is generally a miss for me. In this game, some of the models look like you put the game on the lowest texture setting in other games. The skin and hair of most of the models kind of look a little plasticky. Some beards look really bad up close. The main character's eyes looks off to me. It looks like the eyes are a little bit too close together. The background environments often look very simplistic with low detail and limited clutter, or background populations in the middle cities. It gives me a sense of a dead environment. I will say that most of the main female character models look okay, but I've never really personally liked the Honey Select look in these types of games. There are games that are far more prettier that use custom art for everything, and I would say that the game score in the beauty department is average to below average, admittedly. Now for the spicy scenes. The game will not give it to you right away, and it will take a little bit of time to build up before you get it. It's more of a visual novel with some spicy content, and it's not the main purpose. It won't shy away from that content or anything, but is not the end-all be-all of the game. There are some well-done animations for the spicy scenes added to help with the movement of the scenes, and they're good. The most recent update provided one of the best spicy scenes in the game with Noel, so it would seem that he's making some improvements there too as time has gone on. On the whole, I enjoyed my time with Companions of Darkness. I found the story quite enjoyable, especially me being a fan of the supernatural elements in general. If you are here for the spicy content, it may or may not fulfill what you're looking for. Just look at the models, and if you really like them, you'll probably be fine. However, the main strength is the story, which I think most will find enjoyable and is far better than most of the story slop you'll find in these types of games. I'm not going to add it to my work folder, because this is more of a story game with some spicy content thrown in, and it's not the main purpose of the game. The spicy content is spaced out, the tags and art don't really appeal to me, and the story is good enough where some of the scenes I just want to get it over with so I can get back to the story. I recommend that you try it out, and I'll give it a 7 out of 10. It's a good game. I'll drop some links if you want to help out the developer on Patreon, or you can find it on the net and try it out yourself. Anyways, that's it for me. See you next time.